Hi friends, this is Deaney. In this video, we are going to make a giant freestanding version of our 24-inch paper Dahlia Cafe au Lait. This is the same template that we have since last year, I think. We just added some additions, so the sepals or sepals, and some components for like the cover, and then the cone base. That's why this is like kind of cone-ish. Yeah, same flower, but just a freestanding version. First things first, the tools and materials that we need. So for the giant paper Dahlia Cafe au Lait freestanding version, we need additional like templates or like additional pieces and materials. So let's start first with the petals. So of course, like the petals, petals 1s, 2s, the centers, the base will be the same. The additional components will be our sepals. So we will have 8 of this and then 8 of the smaller ones. We will have this, which will be the cover for the coupling. So this will depend on the connector that you will be using. In my tutorials, I am using 0.75 or 3/4 size coupling. So the 3/4 is the inside. The outside is about like 1 inch. And this will be the cover for this one. Aesthetic purposes. We will be needing a bit of PVC pipe to kind of give height to the sepal part. So this is an example. So the sepals are for here. That's our sepal. So for that one, we need a bit of PVC pipe. So the height will depend, the final height of the cone cover. So we also need like this cone cover too, again to give the height to cover this. But in that Dahlia Cafe au Lait that I just picked up, the height is about 2.25 inches. So we'll see later if it's still gonna be like 2.25 inches. And also you need like a cardboard for the base of the cover. For the tools, pipe cutter, dowels. The additional tools and materials are basically for the sepal or for the back part of the flower, just because it's gonna be visible for the freestanding version. I will still kind of go over the processes, but not as detailed. So if you want a detailed version, so check out the video right here. Let us put our other materials on the side first. We are going to start with our petals. One of the things that I did not discuss in detail with our previous videos or with the other videos is what did I use to cut it. Simple answer, Cricut. The template comes in an SVG file, so it's ready to cut with a cutting machine. The unique thing about this template is that it has a score line. If you see that light cut, so it's a score line, and it's one of the paper crafting techniques that I really love using. The score line helps us easily fold this. Can my cutting machine do that? Or, can cutting machines do that? Of course, yes. With Cricut, you have an option for the scoring stylus. This is a scoring stylus. If you'll see the tip or the point, it's blunt. It won't create this type of cut. For Cricut, you will be needing a Cricut maker so that you can use the scoring blade. And a scoring blade costs $60 additional from the maker. It's not included in the package. That's why I do love Silhouette. So I do have an older version. I think it's a Cameo Silhouette 2. It still works. I can use the same blade to do a cut like this. It's just like less pressure. I can do like multiple pressures in one set or in one cutting in one load. And lately, it's also the same for the LOKLiK iCraft cutting machine. So that's also another option if you will be making like craft projects like this. So yeah, I love using this technique for some of my flowers. So Dahlia Cafe au Lait, and then the Lizzie sunflower, which uses the same petals. So we also use that technique. Most especially if you're also using like cards or, you know, like packaging or, you know, those 3D boxes where you have flaps. Scoring with a blade is really very helpful. Anyhow, so that's what I used. Cutting machine, specifically the one that can do a score line with a blade, because that's easier. I started with this one. Basically, after doing this, after folding through the score line, we are going to curl the edges like this and also the insides, and we are going to close like this. So we are going to do that for all of the petals, including the smaller ones. I am just going to show you like different folds that you can do. By the way, if I haven't mentioned yet, the 4 petals have slightly different tips and directions. So 2 petals points this way, the other half points the other way, and then the tips are a bit different. So one is pointy, the other one has this like slit. I just want variation. You know, nothing in nature is like uniform. That's one. The other one, so let us fold it. You can do this going inside, this going out. That's the second one. For this one, you can do this going inside, this going out. And the last one, which I do suggest doing on the smaller ones, is like both edges are like going in. I say do that on the smaller ones just because this will be like in the kind of like the inside of the flower. So it's good to like, you know, have that petals that looks like they're just about to bloom. So what I mean is this. Both are going inside. You can also do that here, but again, I do suggest doing this technique like in some of these smaller ones. And do the same for this one. Don't forget to close the bottom tip. And you also have the option to do it like, you know, narrow or like closer, or like this one. For the outer petals, for the larger petals, I do suggest closing them a bit more open like this. So it will be covering like the base. For the smaller petals, I do suggest like this type of like, it's like where it's closed like, you know, narrower like this. You can also do it multiple pieces at a time. So I usually do it 3 to 4 pieces at a time. So I am using an 80-pound cardstock, which is slightly thicker. So I do suggest prepping 3 at a time for now. So you can pause this part and proceed and again, do the same procedure for all of the petals. See you in the next step. Once you are done prepping your petals, then we will be prepping the centers. Yes, there's another step. By the way, so I do have, if it happens to you, this is just like, you know, a suggestion of what's best to do. So I do have some petals that, because I kind of like repurpose or like re-stick my mats with glue. So if that video is already up, then I'll put it here. If not, it will be up soon, but I will be discussing or, you know, showing like how you can repurpose or like reuse your mat, like re-stick it. One of the things that you can do is like put glue on the cutting mat. The only downside, so of course there's a downside. Yeah, it's much cheaper, but there's a downside to it. So there's a tendency for the glue to be kind of really sticky, and like for example for my paper, kind of damage some like surface like this. Fret not, this ones I plan to use them like at the bottom or like the first layer, so they're gonna be covered anyway. So that's one of the things that you can do if ever you stumble upon this problem. Let's go ahead and proceed with this. So we have centers 1 and those are the smaller ones, like this ones. 3, 4, 5 will be this. They'll just be like you know, different sizes. And then center 6 will be this one. Center 6, it will be easy. You can do this 2 sheets at a time. Or actually, you can do this like 2 sheets at a time. But let's try it. This one goes here. This one will go here. So when you attach them, you know, they're kind of different. So let's do that. In all honesty, this template, Dahlia Cafe au Lait, it's beautiful. You know, I'm proud of it, but it just takes a long time to make just because it's quite detailed with a lot of components. So if ever you are to make this template, then be sure to, you know, spare some time or like dedicate time to make it. One piece, honestly, like probably a minimum of 2 hours to make by your own. If you have somebody to like, you know, fold them for you and prep the petals for you, then you'll have it easier. But if you're just, you know, like me, making it alone, like 2 hours minimum. Okay, so we're just going to do this on the other one, but the curls on a different direction. And at this point, you can attach them. Top layer goes in between like this, and yeah. There you go. With this one, so this one is a bit more tedious. So I'll show you one first. And then, so actually, you can prep them multiple, you know. And then what we're gonna do per petal is, you're going to close it like this. So it will be tubes like this, or it will look like tubes. So this is another tedious part, but again, you know, the finished product, it's beautiful. Gonna do this, so do this for the remaining centers. I'll just finish this and then you can pause it and then see you when you are done. So here's the finished product, or here's the finished center. So go ahead and do this for the rest of the centers. Before we start, we need to prep our base. So we're almost there. So we're just going to trace it and cut it. Either you use a pair of scissors or a box cutter, a cutter. I find it easier to cut it with a box cutter, but of course you also have to need a cutting mat for it. So actually, this base that I'm using is a scrap. So I kinda like, you know, murdered the paper. So the purpose of the base, why we're putting a colored base, is that there will be instance that, the base will be visible. It's like the petals would not like fully cover the base. And if it's like of a different color, it will be visible. Most especially with a detailed one like this. As much as possible, similar color or a color close to the petals. So let us go ahead and cut it. I find it easier to cut using a box cutter. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's just gonna be the base. Alright, are you ready to assemble? Okay, so this is Deaney from the future. So before we start, I think it's actually better if we like poke a hole here at the center. So I am just going to eyeball where the center is. I think this is the center, yeah. And then... yeah, so before attaching everything, you just poke like a hole on this, and then that's where you're gonna poke this in, so it will be like, you know, deeper. Let us just cover the base. Let's go ahead and assemble it. So again, I will be using the damaged petals for like the first layer. So it's gonna be like the bottommost layer. So let's go ahead. So first 3 layers will be 16. So this will be a bit different with the assembly of the one that we showed that is detailed. That one, the blue one, we used it for a wall, which is, I don't know, like has 8 more of those. So it's like what I needed there was like efficiency. We need, you know, a quicker assembly just because it's a lot. It's for a wall. This one is a bit more detailed. So per layer, it will be 16 pieces. The first 3 layers, we will be using petal 2, which is the bigger one. For petal 1, which is the smaller ones, we prepared 24. But let us see how many are we going to use in actual. So let's go ahead and assemble it. So again, we have 4 kinds of petals. We are going to use it at random. Yeah, let's go ahead. The way I position them, 4 first, top, bottom, and then the 2 sides. So let's use this kind first. So that's the amount of glue that I usually use. Feel free to add more glue. And then I will fill up like the in-betweens. So let's use the same direction going there, but the one with a forked tip. And then the in-betweens. And then the last one. Now, let us do the inside. So we are basically just going to like put the petals in between. It's up to you. I just put it at random or the opposite direction. So I usually put it like that or position it like that. So about here, like at the end of like this tip here. So that's where I kind of position them. And then I usually put like glue here. And then I kind of pinch this one. And then put it like this. And let's do the other direction like this. You know, feel free to alternate. So let's apply glue like 2 petals at a time. Okay, now that we're done with the second layer, let's do the third layer. So basically, again, just in between. We're just going to place it in between, like here. Yeah, I used all 16. We are going to go ahead and put in the next 4th layer basically, which are the smaller ones. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we are going to continue with the petal ones, the smaller petals. So just in between, this will not be like 16, 16, 16. So I'm gonna disclose the numbers later once we're done. But yeah, let's go ahead and fill this up. You can also put the glue like right here. So that's the 4th layer. Let's do the 5th layer. Yeah, hold on. We do
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
12. So we did 12 for the 4th layer. For the 5th layer, we did
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
so 9 and 12, 21. So we did 21. So we're gonna do a 6th layer. There. Let's go ahead and put in our center. For the center, again, we have 2 pieces of center 6. This is honestly the part where you need to like push it down until it sticks, because there's a tendency for this part to detach. We're gonna make sure that it's attached. We can honestly go ahead and attach this 3, 5. So if you'll see, there's like a number over there, like a Roman numeral number. This is 4. Put it in between, and then we'll put 3 in between as well. That way, it will be easier to push down. And you can use like, you know, a pen or a handle of a paintbrush to like push it down. And you can go ahead and put in this one. So I usually put them like this. So there's no particular order. 2 and 1 are almost the same. It's just the circle is smaller. That's the only difference. You can just fill in this part. So I have one more, and let's just use all of the centers. Yay! So we are done with the flower. Next step, doing the bottom or attaching the pipe. What we're gonna do first, so this one, the more you make it like a cone, the, what do you call this, the higher but smaller the diameter your cone will be. We have a very large backing, so I do suggest about, so this is like 3/4. Do suggest like here. So this part we are just going to eyeball it. And also one of the things that you can do, you can see if it goes in. So I think this is like perfect size. So we're just going to attach. There you go. So we need a coupling. We are going to mark up until where this ends. So here. Okay, so about 2 inches, almost 2 inches. And we are going to insert this, and we are going to mark up until where it ends. 1/2 inch. We are just going to add 1/2 inch here. So let's put this aside for now. There you go. Okay, grab your pipe cutter. So I'm using this. I know there's a lot of different types of pipe cutter. This is what I have from before, so we're gonna use this. So this will be inserted, and this will go in there. One of the things that we can do now, we can attach this. So this is our coupling, and then let's just attach this cover to the coupling. By the way, the cone cover can be whatever color. This will be covered anyway, so it can be whatever color. So there we go. Let's put this aside. I do think in my earlier version, I poked like a hole that is the size of this here. I forgot about it, but that's one option that we can do. Since we didn't do that, don't fret. There's another way. We are going to form layers of like circles. And that's gonna be like what's gonna hold our pipe. So let's do 4. I went ahead and cut the carton, the paper boards, and poked a hole. So I used a cutter, a box cutter. So here we go. I have 4 and we are going to pile them in, attach them. It's okay if they're kind of irregular. The most important thing is that you can insert them to the pipe. I won't attach it yet, so let's attach it later when we're gonna really attach it. For now, let us prep the sepals. We have 8 pieces of these and 8 pieces of these, and basically we are just going to roll them. I don't know where the dowel is, but I have a big dowel. I just don't know where it is. So we can fold like 3 at a time. And then this one. Same for this. Same for these. Alright, so let us finish the back. I'm just gonna flip it. We're going to attach these. So it will go here. So let's put hot glue. So we're gonna put a lot of hot glue. So we're sure that it's not gonna detach or anything. Hot glue. Put it there in the middle. And then let's make sure that it's attached. And then we're just basically gonna attach the others. Just put like hot glue. More hot glue. So a second. So there we go. Let it cool down. I'm probably gonna add more glue here. Okay, so that's perfect. And we're gonna attach this. So basically I'm just gonna put like hot glue here at the edge. Push it down. And then we are going to insert this, the coupling. So again, this would look different. It will depend on how you attach your flowers to the stem or, you know, things like that. But this is how I attach mine. And you can see how I make like the stems. So I'll put the link here for the video where you make the stem. So again, I use a 3/4 PVC pipe. So this would connect well. Actually, I forgot to attach. So we're going to attach this because it should not detach. I'm just gonna push. There. So it's attached. We can add more glue. Alright, so this is the part where we are going to cover like this part, and you're going to do 8. I am going to place the glue in the middle. I'll show you why later. And then I'll go over here. There, like that. And then we are going to do the sides. Again, just the middle. And then we are going to do here. So you can do it like we're like the other overlaps, but for me this is just like easier because you can position them. You see this part, so that's where the smaller version of the sepal will be, and we're just going to like kind of insert them like this. So that's the reason why we only place like the glue here in the middle, so we can insert this tiny little things. Like you can do it here, or you can like push it further inside, so it's really up to you how you want. And then later on you can like curl this. Let's do that. You can also put it here, it's really up to you, but for now I think it's easier to like put it inside like this. So there we go, almost there. You can curl this to make it more dramatic. All right. And here it is, our 24-inch paper Dahlia Cafe au Lait freestanding version. So yes, hold on, I'll twist it again. So yeah, what do you think? Yeah, I really love it. If you have any questions about this project, drop your comments down below. Do like this video and subscribe to our channel for more paper craft video tutorials like this. So again, thank you so much for watching. Bye!